What path might you take in your quest for total health?
Optimum health that encompasses mind, body, and spirit.
So come along now with Olivia Newton-John, Judy Brooks,
and Roy Walkenhorst on Healing Quest.
Hello everyone, thanks for joining us. Today we're going to help you stay out of the doctor's office by boosting your emotional fitness.
We'll be talking a lot about dealing with stress, since up to 90% of doctor visits are due to stress-related complaints.
and Judy will be showing us a new tool to help keep us balanced.
It helps your heart, your brain, your nervous system, your mind and emotions all synchronize.
We'll also see why flexibility is so important not only to our physical but also our emotional fitness.
If you're rigid in your consciousness, that'll express as rigidity in your biology.
Our Mythbuster segment has some tips on how to deal with modern stress.
When you take care of yourself, everything else does better.
And our healing moment takes us into an underwater universe.
So join us now as we head to the frontiers of integrative health and well-being on Healing Quest.
Broadcast of this program made possible by
So True, makers of So True Choco Slim, a sugar-free chocolate extract designed to control hunger cravings and help manage weight. So True Choco Slim, proud to support Healing Quest on public television.
The American Botanical Council provides science-based herbal information at herbalgram.org.
Resveratrol from Reservage, the powerful antioxidant with organic grapes grown in century-old vineyards in France, formulated to support cellular and heart health as well as healthy aging. More information online or at 1-800-553-1896.
Emotional fitness is a big topic here on Healing Quest, and we're not just talking about put on a happy face.
Oh, I love it when you sing. We're talking about something that could literally add years to our life.
That's right. Research shows that people with a positive outlook live up to 10 years longer than people whose primary outlook is negative.
Our friend Dr. Marcus Lowe says how we take care of our emotions is just as important as how we take care of our body.
Absolutely.
It's not only what you eat that affects your health, but what's eating you, and that brings us to that emotional fitness part. Darwin taught us that survival is of the physically fit. The most physically fit survive through evolution. I would say today we are looking at survival of the emotionally fit. And so we have plenty of food, we have a roof over our head, we have most of our things taken care of, but what we don't practice, what we're not instructed on, is how to deal with our emotions. Bringing them out and not suppressing them, allowing them to flourish, asking for help, being truthful, first about yourself, and taking yourself off the hook, not being hard on yourself, is spectacular.
Judy, that's not the first time we've heard about how important it is to be kind to yourself as a way of staying emotionally healthy, is it?
No, it's not. In fact, I heard the same thing when I spent some time with Joan Borsenko. And Joan is a prolific author and leader in the field of mind-body medicine.
The single most important thing in having a happy life, in managing your emotions, in learning to be in the present moment, is to stop beating yourself up. Most people are really good at learning to, if not always to forgive, at least to have some compassion and tolerance for other people, and we find it so hard when it comes to ourselves. If you can simply learn to say, you know, this morning I'm as mean as a snake and it's okay. To see that that's happening, to realize maybe not useful right now, to take a few breaths, to come to center, but without judging it, just saying this is what is. It's not the most useful way to feel, but that's how I feel. Often that emotion will actually dissipate and be replaced by something else. But the first step always in mind-body wholeness is to accept yourself the way that you are.
But Judy, after we achieve that self-acceptance, we still need to deal with the stress that's so much a part of our modern life, don't we?
Well, that's true, and many people think it's just not possible to avoid those stresses.
But we have quite another view of that now from Dr. Howard Murad.
You know, many of my patients come to me and tell me, in this hectic world, I can't avoid stress. When we think about modern stress, it's the change in our culture that's made such a big difference. Think about it. What's happened in the last 20 years? There's more and more traffic. It takes you longer to get from place to place. You have more and more things to do. You have now an internet to look at all the time. You have less time to sleep. You are working 24/7. So there's so many things that are beginning to happen, and we think we can't avoid this. The truth is, we can make a tremendous impact on the modern stress that I call cultural stress. What's the worst thing we can do for somebody in jail? We put them in isolation. What we're doing to ourselves because of this stress is putting ourselves in isolation. We need to reduce internet isolation or any kind. The average person has fewer close friends today than they did 5 years ago, only because they have more time on Facebook and the internet rather than touching people. Having a bear hug once in a while can make a huge impact on you. Reducing the time that you're spending on the internet and increasing the time that you're with friends is very important. How you direct your brain can make a difference in understanding how you can deal with that stress. Now imagine you're in a lot of traffic. You have to go to somewhere and you are going to be an hour late. Well, what can you do about it? You don't have a helicopter, so try to enjoy it. Put on some quiet music. Try to listen to books on tape. Begin to reframe the concept and say to yourself, at least I'm going to get there. At least I'm not in an accident. Another thing that begins to happen with our modern stress is that we're so busy, we tend not to be able to eat well. And we have what I call the standard American diet. 46% of the average diet in America is fast food. Fast food has no omegas. Omegas are so important for your brain, and we don't get them, then we have more and more depression. It is thought that by 2050, more than 60% of our population will be under stress such that they will need some antidepressant medication. And that is unbelievable that you can imagine that. What we can do about it is take time for ourselves, eat better, make sure you get those omegas because your brain is made mostly of those good fats. Good GLAs are very important, along with all of the others. So eat those walnuts, take that salmon, begin to eat GLA3, which is more difficult to get, but currants and things like that are very important. So many people tell me, you know, I don't have time for taking care of myself. Well, what is that saying to you? It's saying, I don't value myself. Who is the most important person in the world to you? It has to be you. When you take care of yourself, everything else does better. Whoever else is supposed to be important to you will get better because you're better yourself.
That's a great point, Judy. If we don't take care of ourselves, how can we take care of anyone else?
I agree, and that's why I'm so intrigued by a new device that's designed to help keep us emotionally balanced. It's called an M-Wave, and it's been developed by the Institute of Heart Math in Boulder Creek, California. 10 years ago, we reported on their groundbreaking research demonstrating that the heart, in addition to everything else, is truly a part of the emotional system.
Now we know that the heart actually has considered to have its own intrinsic brain, has a very complex nervous system, and can function independent of the rest of the nervous system. And there are nerves that send messages from the heart back to the brain, as well as the brain to the heart.
Roland says tools like the new M-Wave make it easier than ever to take control of our emotions by staying in coherence. Heart Math defines that as the alignment of emotions, mind, body, and spirit.
So we've got all this activity going on in our nervous system and between the hormonal system and the nervous system and all the different centers in the brain. So when we're in a more coherent state, all of those systems are working more harmoniously together. They're in sync.
But Roland says our emotions sometimes destroy that coherence and trigger stresses with long-lasting physical effects.
Just getting angry or really frustrated for even just a few minutes, that sets in motion a cascade of about 1,400 biochemical changes that go on in our body. And some of those hormones, they hang around for many hours, like 12 hours is one of the big stress hormones called cortisol. So if we get upset in the afternoon, that hormone is still disrupting our inner systems and our metabolic processes and things when we should be asleep. When we're in coherence, our blood pressure goes down, our cognitive and mental functions are improved, we have faster reaction times, so we think quicker. It connects us to what I call a high-speed intuitive intelligence.
To help achieve that intuitive connection, that coherence, HeartMath has developed the M-Wave to monitor and guide special breathing techniques.
The M-Wave comes with a practice plan, and it suggests that people do it 5 minutes a day, and once a week do it for 10 minutes.
Deborah says the M-Wave measures beat-to-beat changes in heart rate and uses colored lights to help the user achieve and maintain coherence.
Because the M-Wave shows you when you're not in sync and when you're sort of halfway in sync and when you're all the way there. The light turns green. Light indicators that will change to help you guide your breathing so you stay at least in medium synchronization or coherence, as we call it.
We met Dan Bishop 10 years ago when he was using a HeartMath technique to deal with extreme anxiety, and then on top of that, a diagnosis of multiple sclerosis. But the last 10 years have also brought Dan some good news. He's gotten married, and he's found that the new M-Wave has helped minimize his need for pharmaceuticals.
You know, with MS, there are many symptoms that have to be managed with medication, like depression or anxiety. And I've been really fortunate not to have to do that. I use the HeartMath tools to keep myself in balance. I don't get anxious as much. And so the doctors have actually really supportive. They're really supportive of me continuing to do it that way because I haven't had to take any medication.
To me, the HeartMath technology has really made a difference in terms of how I've been able to manage my own over-responsibility feelings of Dan. The two of us actually can speak better together. We communicate better.
I think one of the most exciting benefits of it is how it helps people really connect in their own heart and connect with the hearts of others and their relationships. It helps you get in sync with yourself. It helps your heart, your brain, your nervous system, your mind and emotions all synchronize. And there's a lot of research behind this. But what's really exciting about it is that you do it for yourself. It's not like you're taking a pill or something's doing it for you. It helps guide you into that state.
The research is overwhelming now that people that have the ability to have a more positive outlook, to have more positive emotions throughout the day than negative, they live longer. I think it's 8 years on average longer. So it has a lot of personal health benefits, but it also makes an environment that's a lot nicer for our loved ones, our family, and our coworkers to be around as well.
So Judy, how's your coherence today?
It's very good, thank you. You know, I happened to be wearing this M-Wave when I was waiting for my doctor at my last appointment.
Yeah, what did he say?
Well, I thought I was going to be telling him about something new that, you know, he didn't know about, but it turns out that he's a big fan of the M-Wave, and he has a number of his patients using it, and they're getting great results.
So would this be a case of all those people, excuse me, being ahead of the wave?
Oh, God. Only if you believe in bad puns. I think Roy is striking again.
At any rate, if you'd like more information about M-Wave and HeartMath technology, we have the links for you on the Healing Quest website. Can you see that? It's really cool. Another important part of emotional fitness is maintaining your flexibility. Hey, Roy?
I wish I could be standing on my head when I said this, but we're actually talking about a lot more than how many yoga poses you can do.
Dr. Deepak Chopra has the explanation.
We think of a healthy body as a flexible body. What we don't recognize is that flexible consciousness is equally important. That if you're rigid in your consciousness, that'll express as rigidity in your biology, because the mind and the body are inseparable. So flexibility in your physical body without flexibility in your consciousness is kind of a schizoid experience. You have to have flexibility in your consciousness. There are many psychological studies that show that as people age, they tend to become less flexible, rigid in their habits or in their opinions. They don't want to change their opinion.